Welcome to Venice. You're looking at a building that absolutely refuses to stay dead. Back in 1792, a local opera company lost its original venue. When they constructed their new house, they decided to name it La Fenice, the Phoenix. Choosing that specific myth served as a stubborn public guarantee to the city. Come what may, the music would keep playing. Most historic landmarks are famous simply for surviving the centuries. La Fenice's entire architectural personality is rooted in burning down and clawing its way back from the ashes. The city tested that promise early on. A blaze consumed the theater in 1836, but the community rallied and rebuilt it almost immediately. The ultimate test came in 1996. A catastrophic fire ripped through the night, fully engulfing the structure in blinding heat and smoke. Investigators eventually uncovered a vicious truth. Human hands deliberately set the theater on fire. The destruction was absolute. By the time the flames died down, the opulent opera house was reduced to a blackened crater, leaving only the bare exterior walls standing. For Venetians, this deliberate attack felt like an assault on the city itself. They had to decide whether to abandon the ruins or force the Phoenix to prove its name and rise from absolute zero. To understand the scale of that loss, we have to look at the room that burned. It was a space engineered for pure spectacle. In the mid-19th century, Giuseppe Verdi used this stage to premiere some of the most enduring operas in history, including Rigoletto and La Traviata. The drama backstage routinely matched the performances. Verdi demanded that his cast for La Traviata wear modern dress, but local censors fought him bitterly, arguing the themes were far too scandalous for contemporary clothing. The resulting compromises led to a disastrous opening night in 1853. The audience openly mocked the staging and laughed the singers right out of the building. Verdi was furious, yet that initial failure eventually conquered every major opera house on earth. La Fenice clearly has terrible taste in first impressions, but it possesses a true genius for taking that chaotic, combustible energy and forging it into lasting operatic legends. Standing in the 1996 ashes, the city issued a strict mandate for the rebuild. As it was, where it was. What followed was essentially an architectural seance. Craftsmen summoned the building back to life using fragmented memories, old blueprints, and grainy photographs. Artisans painstakingly carved and molded every stunning interior ornament by hand, relying on traditional papier-mâché, wood, and plaster. The absolute peak of this obsession is the massive gilt bronze chandelier dominating the room. It features precisely 166 individual lights, surrounded by delicate, hand-sculpted porcelain flowers. The entire modern theater acts as a flawless, deliberate forgery of its own history. It proves that Venice would rather spend years executing hard artisanal labor than take a single modern shortcut. The engineering goes far deeper than the decorations. The hall operates as a massive acoustic soundbox, utilizing a traditional wooden shell fitted perfectly inside a heavy masonry exterior. That wooden skeleton makes the acoustics startlingly alive. Every quiet whisper and delicate bow stroke bounces off the wood, hitting the audience with absolute clarity. Look closely at the visual trickery overhead. The painted ceiling relies on an optical illusion, tricking your eye into thinking the vault is floating much higher than the physical roof allows. This resurrected masterpiece officially reopened in 2004, a triumph that launched the beloved tradition of the Venice New Year's concert. Over 2 centuries ago, a group of musicians guaranteed their city that the show would survive, regardless of the disaster. They kept their word. The waterways outside reflect the physical shape of Venice, but La Fenice reflects its soul, stubborn, theatrical, and absolutely impossible to keep down.